Mobile device synchronization. Minus recognizing data caps. Minus calendar. Minus contacts. Minus business applications. Mail. Cloud storage. Think of mobile device synchronization as the digital heartbeat that keeps all your screens beating in unison. In the modern workflow, a user rarely relies on just one device. They might accept a meeting invite on their desktop computer, pull up the client's phone number on their smartphone during the commute, and review the project files on a tablet later that evening. For the CompTIA A+ exam, you must understand the protocols and mechanics that make this seamless transition possible. As a technician, your job is to ensure that the data flows securely, that it doesn't drain the user's battery, and most importantly, that it doesn't accidentally trigger a massive cellular phone bill. Part 1. The mechanics of sync and recognizing data caps. Before we look at what is being synchronized, we must look at how the data moves. Synchronization requires the mobile device to constantly talk to a cloud server. This constant communication introduces a major operational hazard: blowing through a data cap. Most cellular plans are not truly unlimited. They have a data cap, for example, 20 gigabytes per month. Once a user hits that cap, the carrier will either charge them exorbitant overage fees or heavily throttle their speed down to an unusable crawl. Push versus pull synchronization. Pull fetch. The mobile device wakes up on a schedule, e.g., every 15 minutes, connects to the server and asks, "Do you have any new data for me?" If the user receives 100 emails an hour, pull uses less battery but means the data isn't instantly available. Push, the server holds the connection open. The exact second a new email or calendar invite hits the server pushes it down to the phone. This is instantaneous, but requires a constant background data connection. Managing the data cap. As a technician, if a user complains about data overages, background synchronization is almost always the culprit. The fix: you must dive into the device settings and enable low data mode, iOS, or data saver, Android. This prevents apps from automatically syncing heavy files in the background while on a cellular network. Wi-Fi only sync. For heavy data tasks, like backing up a photo gallery or syncing large cloud storage folders, you must configure the device to only perform these synchronizations when connected to unmetered Wi-Fi. Part 2. Synchronizing the core, contacts, and calendar. If a user drops their phone in a lake, the physical hardware can be replaced in an hour. But if they lose a decade's worth of business contacts and their schedule for the next month, that is a catastrophic failure. Synchronization ensures the phone is never the single source of truth. The cloud is. 1. Contact synchronization. When a user adds a new phone number to their device, it shouldn't just save to the local storage chip. It should immediately sync to their Apple iCloud, Google, or Microsoft 365 account. The protocol: the open standard for contact synchronization is CardDAV, vCard extensions to WebDAV. It allows a mobile device to access and update an address book hosted on a remote server. 2. Calendar synchronization. Scheduling requires precision. If an executive's assistant moves a meeting on the desktop computer at the office, the executive's smartphone must reflect that change instantly to prevent them from showing up at the wrong time. The protocol: the open standard for calendar syncing is CalDAV. Conflict resolution. What happens if the phone is offline in a subway, the user deletes a meeting, but their assistant updates the same meeting on the desktop? When the phone reconnects, the sync engine must resolve the conflict. Typically, the server uses a last modified wins rule, accepting the most recent timestamp as the correct version of events. Part 3. Business applications, corporate mail. Email is the lifeblood of business communication. For the A+ exam, you must clearly understand why legacy protocols have been abandoned in the mobile era and what we use instead. 1. Why POP3 is dead for mobile. The Post Office Protocol, POP3, was designed for a world where a user only had one computer. It connects to the server, downloads the email to the local hard drive, and deletes it from the server. If a user sets up POP3 on their smartphone, their desktop computer will never see those emails. Never use POP3 for mobile synchronization. 2. IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol. IMAP is the standard for basic email sync. It leaves the master copy of the email on the server. If you read an email on your phone, IMAP tells the server to mark it as read, and your tablet and desktop will instantly show it as read as well. However, IMAP only syncs email. It does not sync calendars or contacts. 3. Exchange ActiveSync, EAS. This is the undisputed king of corporate mobile synchronization. Dev. Eloped by Microsoft, EAS is a proprietary protocol that does everything at once. With a single username and password, EAS establishes a secure, push connection that simultaneously synchronizes the user's mail, contacts, and calendar. Furthermore, EAS allows the company's mobile device management, MDM, software to enforce security policies, like requiring a lock screen PIN before it allows the mail to sync. Part 4. Business Applications, Cloud Storage. Modern mobile devices are incredibly powerful, but they have a severe limitation: local storage capacity. A user might have a 2-terabyte corporate OneDrive or Google Drive account, but their smartphone might only have 128 gigabytes of internal storage. You cannot synchronize the entire cloud drive to the phone. It would fill up the storage instantly and crash the device. 1. Files on Demand, Selective Sync. Mobile cloud storage apps like Dropbox, OneDrive, or iCloud Drive solve this by syncing the metadata, not the actual files. When the user opens the app, they see the names and icons of all their files. However, the files are not actually taking up space on the phone. When the user taps a document, the app quickly downloads that single file over the cellular or Wi-Fi network, allowing them to view or edit it. 2. Offline availability. Because this system relies entirely on an active internet connection, it breaks down if the user gets on an airplane or visits a remote job site. As a technician, you must teach users how to manually mark specific, mission-critical folders as Make Available Offline. This forces the app to fully download those specific files to the phone's local storage, so they are accessible regardless of network connectivity. Part 5. Troubleshooting the synchronization chain. When a user submits a ticket saying, "My phone isn't syncing my emails," you must follow a logical diagnostic path. Check the network and data caps. Is the phone in airplane mode? Is it connected to a captive portal Wi-Fi that requires a login? Has the user hit their monthly data cap and been throttled to a speed so slow that the sync times out? Authentication errors. Users change their corporate passwords on their desktop computers every 90 days. They often forget that they must immediately update that new password on their mobile device. If the password is out of date, the server will silently block the sync. Check the account toggles. In the device settings, you can individually toggle what data syncs. A user might have accidentally flipped the switch to turn off calendar sync while leaving mail sync on. Force a manual sync. Sometimes the background service just crashes. Pulling down from the top of the mail or calendar app to trigger a manual refresh reestablishes the handshake with the server and forces the data to update. Summary for the professional technician. To dominate this objective on your exam, remember these core rules. Data caps. Background sync uses massive amounts of data. Restrict heavy syncing to Wi-Fi to prevent carrier overage charges. Core sync. CardDAV handles contacts, and CalDAV handles calendars. Mail protocols. Never use POP3. Use IMAP for standard mail, and use Exchange ActiveSync, EAS, for full enterprise integration of mail, contacts, and calendars. Cloud storage. Mobile devices use files on demand, to save local storage space, requiring an active connection unless files are specifically pinned for offline use.